I'm just going to leave the original parts and connections in Part Studio. Let's create a new folder. I'm going to call it Sample Parts and Assemblies. Actually, let's just create a new Part Studio here and then we'll move it into that folder in just a second. Let's go create Part Studio and we can do the renaming and all of that. Let's go to Front View. Let's get our dimensions here. We're going to go left click front plane. Let's go Line Tool. Let's draw this out. So from this area here, we're going to draw a line. We're going to try to get as close to our angle as possible. There's our dimension there. We'll bring this down. We'll come back around here and we'll set these dimensions in just a second. Let's get our angle. All right, let's set our link here. Let's do the angle at 116.5 at 8 inches. Let's do this one at 2. These are going to be set at 0.75. This is going to be 0.75. All right, let's close that out. Let's go to extrude. And we'll do this 0.5, so we want it a ½ inch thick. Let's go to sketch 1. That brings that out. All right, that looks good. So we're going to need to extrude a 10 millimeter hole here, about a ½ inch from the edge. Let's go to sketch, front plane, center point circle. Let's draw this out somewhere right around here. Hit escape. Let's set the dimension of that circle. Ooh, I was close. 0.394. Hit enter. Select your dimension tool, select down here. So that's 0.375, that's right in the center. That's where we want it. We'll select right here and let's go 0.5 inches. All right, let's go over, select extrude, sketch 2. We want to remove. Let's go the opposite direction. Close that out. All right, good. We've got that. Let's go to front plane. Left click sketch, left click line tool. We're going to go here, here. We're just going to copy that. Perfect. So we're going to make these parts without doing the fillet tool. We'll do it last on all of them. Go over to our dimension tool. I'm going to set that at 0.75 exactly. Good. This one needs to be 0.75. Good. That length, keep it 2 inches. And then we'll close that out. We'll go to isometric view. We're going to go to extrude, extrude 3. We only wanted a ½ inch, same thickness. Good. There we go. Oops. Go back to that extrusion. So something's off. We want new, not add. All right, so that creates a new part. That's where I messed up. All right, close that out. And it's fine. We're going to leave it right there, and I'll show you why in just a second. We're not going to move. We're going to take the same length here. Let's go left click, sketch. I'm going to leave those activated so we can see them for reference. I'm going to click on that line tool. I'm going to select this. 2.5 inches, close to it. We'll adjust the length here in just a second. We want this at right around 8 inches. Doesn't have to be exact right now. 3/4 of an inch. We'll come back here, here, there. All right, good. Now let's do our dimensions. We want this to be 0.75. We want this one to be 0.75, and it is. I'm just going to move that over so we can see. Want to set our angle. Should be pretty close to 120. It's right at 116. Let's go 120 on that. I just want to see what that does. Let's set that to 0. What that does. All right, good. All right, that gives us the angle that we want. Let's trying to see if there's any other dimension I need to mess with. Nope, that's good. Let's go over here. Let's go extrude. Let's select that sketch. Again, we're going to be at 0.5 for thickness. Close that out. Good. There's our swing arm. We're going to go back and do the fillet on each one of these separately. So let's go fillet here. We're going to select these edges. Not the sides, but just those edges for each one of those. Let's look at that, see how it looks. Yep, that looks good. Let's close that one out. Let's open this one up. We're going to do the same thing. Back to the fillet. Select those edges. This is going to be a spacer, the way we are. Let's turn 3 on. Let's do sketch fillet. Again, just these edges here, because we want this flat surface. All right, let's close that out. Let's look at it. Looks good. I'm going to activate all of those. I'm going to change the color of this one, just so it's easy to distinguish between the other ones in a sec. Let's go new sketch, front plane, center point circle. Let's go right here. Let's draw this out. I'm going to hit escape, and I'm doing that on purpose so that these are not linked together. So I hit escape. Dimension tool. Let's make these 0.25, because if somebody wants to use an M6 bolt, it'll be close in size. All right, we want that to be 0.375, because that's 3/4 of an inch thick. We'll do that over here. 0.375. We're going to do these extrusions separately than the ones we're going to do up here. It's not going to make much of a difference here. Let's see if it'll let me do this one. Yeah, let's just do that one at 0.5. Close enough. So that one's really close to a 1/2 inch. There, let's close that out. Let's go over here. Let's go extrude. Select that sketch. We're going to remove. We'll go the other way so that it goes through that. We need to tell it what parts. Select all 3. You notice they're listed there because we need these holes to go through all 3 parts. All right, good. We're going to create 8 holes across here. Let's go left click sketch, left click front view, left click center point circle. Now, what I mentioned earlier is extremely important. You see how that's trying to line up with other points on here? We don't want that. Hit escape and then draw out the circle. Again, if I start trying to draw out a circle over here, it's going to start trying to line up to other parts. I don't want that. Hit escape and start a new center point circle each time. All right, so we've got 8. Escape. Let's go to the dimension tool. Let's set our size at 0.25. Between that and that at 0.375. All right, before I do that, I want to set the distance between these at 1 inch. I'm going to do that for all of these. All right, there we go. Good. That looks good. Now let's set the distance. Of each one of these from the edge. It's going to be a lot of numbers here, and I'll reorganize it like I said earlier to make this look better. And this is constraining those so that they will stay right there once we're putting this last measurement. All right, so we've got those. They're all constrained. You can move these around as needed to organize that to make it easier to view. Let's go extrude. And let's go solid remove. Select the sketch we just created. We want it to go in the other direction. Good. Close that out. And there's our swing arm. So we've got the parts created. And let's go down here and rename these so that we can distinguish. Rename. So that's going to be our swing arm frame segment. So we'll call this one the center spacer. Let's call it harness segment. We'll move that over a 1/2 inch there. We're going to take one, we're going to move it a 1/2 inch. So let's go transform. Let's go X, Y, and Z. We'll move it in the y-axis, 0.5, or negative 0.5, negative 0.5. Let's close that. Let's make sure those all look like we want them to. Yeah, everything's matching up. Let's go ahead and export those, and we'll print those off, and we'll try to cast them. So let's export each one. Import, let's lay that one down there. We're going to need 2 of these, but let's just see if we can fit one swing arm on here. Saying that one's too close, so I think we can do a whole swing arm on this plate. Let's go. Might be able to fit all of them on there, but I don't want to print them all until I know we've got what we need. So I'm going to go preview. I don't think any of these will need all right, so we've got one that's still too close. I don't think it's going to create a problem, but we'll spread it out because it recommended it. Let's put that one right in the center. All right, let's preview again. That looks good. We'll go to print plate. I've got to go turn the printer on and prep the surface, and then we'll print it off. This is what we're going to experiment. We're not going to cast this one. This one's going to stay. I probably should have just printed that one in PLA, because that's going to be our spacer. I guess we could do the spacer if we wanted to, but these two are the ones we want to print. So there's that part one, and here's the other part. Is flip or cut a piece out. So let's flip that over. Lay on this face for right now. So I want to cut a piece out of this. Down. So what I'm going to do is create a cut here at the angle that I need so that I still have that bottom part. Let's see what that looks like now. I want to place a cut. We want to keep the lower part, so that's going to be this portion. And we also want to cut through the lower part, so we need that set. And let's go perform cut. That's the piece we want. let's look at lay on face. Let's lay it on that. Let's see what our angle is. We should not need two of those. Let's clone that. There we go. And the good thing about this, we didn't have to go in and change the original, so if we still like the original, we can go back into Onshape, or we can just import. Let's clone that. All right, let's preview that. All right, we are going to need supports. So let's go enable, build plate only. Let's preview that again. I think we're good there. Let's go ahead and print.